aika huivit ylös nostaa. SJK! Ei me luovuteta koskaan, ei koskaan. SJK! Jos et tajunnut tosta, niin se Seinäjoen jalkapallokerho. SJK! Ja muita joo, eikä tuu, se on meidän kerho.
Moi, I'm Mark. And I'm Jules, and this is the Seinäjoki Football Supporters Podcast, bringing you news, reviews and interviews from SJK Seinäjoki.
But we're doing it in English for an international fan base. So, Jules, who's joining us for this episode?
Oh, it's very exciting, Mark. I know we have the biggest guest ever to be on our pod. So we have the great pleasure of welcoming SJK and Faroe Islands centre-back Samuel Chukwudi, who at 6'5", that's 195 centimetres in new money, he's definitely the biggest visitor so far.
Thanks a lot.
Or is he, Jules? Because we also had Samuel James on the pod for the Champions event. Which one of you is taller?
I think we're very close. I can't really say.
We'll have to get you back to back.
A measure off, yeah. Oh, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw your comment, and I did wonder.
We're not going to go into who's got the best Joffrey rice or whatever.
Jollof rice. Are we going straight into jollof rice? We had Salim Yusuf on, who's from Ghana, and then we shortly after we had Samuel James, who's from Nigeria, and it's one of my favourite hobbies is to try and get Nigerians and Ghanaians arguing about jollof rice. This must be a big part of your kind of heritage as well, Samuel.
Yeah. I don't know about...
Are you still there? Because I've been cut out. Are you still there?
Yeah, we can hear you, Jules.
Yeah, okay, right. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
Sorry, Sam, you were saying?
No worries. My father, he's from Nigeria, so he has been making Nigerian food all my upbringing, so it's been pretty good.
Yeah, we did talk about maybe having some kind of cook-off and getting the two guys together so that they can make their own. Now we have a third person to come and show what they can do in the kitchen. All right. So
touching on that, you don't look like the typical Viking Faroe Islands. So can you tell us a bit more about how your family ended up there?
Yeah, my mother, she was studying or working in Copenhagen, and I actually don't know why my father was there, but they met, and they decided to come back to the Faroes and live, and that's why I'm mixed.
Yeah. So she's from the Faroe Islands originally.
Yes.
And I was going to ask you this later, but now we're onto this. Do Faroe Islanders view themselves as Danish at all, or are they just totally separate?
We view ourselves as totally separate, but when people ask that don't know anything about the Faroes, it's just easier sometimes to say, yeah, we're Danish.
Right.
So
yeah,
that's how it is normally.
And your language is like, do you learn Danish at school?
We learn Danish, yeah, in third grade.
Because the Faroe Islands is it something similar to Icelandic in a way, is what I read on Wikipedia. But
yeah, that's right. Very similar.
Wow.
Wikipedia, the home of the made-up facts. That's interesting to hear, and also it's always interesting for me and for us because here in Seinäjoki we have this association called WISE, and this is about providing a ready-made network for people who move here, and among that group is a lot of people with these kind of international relationships and international families as well. So it's always interesting to hear these kind of the origin story of your Marvel comic lifestyle.
Exactly.
Since you mentioned that, Mark, then we can ask another question. How easy has it been for you to move to Seinäjoki? I wrote you're probably one of the few international players who's moved to Seinäjoki and is now experiencing a better climate than normal. So how easy or difficult has it been for you to move here?
I think that the Finnish people are pretty similar to the Faroese people, like their culture and how they do things. So I think it's been pretty easy. And the weather, the winter was pretty rough. The first 3 months they were cold and long, dark.
Yeah.
But now I'm living life. It's so nice.
So is the weather so different then?
It's just, for example, right now it's maybe 12 degrees, probably raining and windy as well. So it's like that all year round. It doesn't vary that much.
Right.
Not
okay.
like in Finland.
Okay.
I suppose it's like a tropical climate without the tropical bit. It's the same all the time. But,
and you also, I read an article where you said that your mum enjoyed being here in Finland. So what did she like so much about being here?
She likes walking around, experiencing nature and not art, but like buildings and stuff like that. Maybe more than I do. So she's a bit happier about it than me. That's fine.
And so is the Finnish nature very different to Faroe Islands?
We don't have any trees. Really.
Okay.
And here there are trees everywhere here.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so that's very different then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it's a bit like Shetland and those northern Scottish islands. You're still not so far away from there.
Exactly.
Jules, should we carry on with we've got a few more questions and we're well into them, so we could carry on from there.
Oh, yep. Okay. Right. Oh, well, so we should introduce Samuel Chukwudi, 22 years old, 5 caps for the Faroe Islands.
Yes.
Are you first choice centre back at the moment?
At the moment, I'm actually not first choice centre back. One of the players we're gonna play against in Klaksvík, he's actually first choice ahead of me.
Oh, it'd be terrible if he got an injury, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we'll have to have a word with Jere Streng.
But I want to change that as soon as possible.
Well, I mean, is there a place for you as centre forward? Because it's 3 goals for us so far, and so how do you feel? This is like looking at your career history. You've scored the odd goal here and then, but 2 goals in a game against Ginston, 3 from 13 games this season. Is it something you've added to your game, or has it always been there?
Oh, it's not been there. The previous seasons, I've had so many chances, clear chances that I have to score, and I just haven't scored. But this season, so far, it's been going my way, which I'm so happy for, because as tall as I am, I have to score some goals at set pieces.
Well, they haven't all been with your head as well.
No,
I mean, there was that one where you took a touch, swiveled and buried it. That was a real striker's goal. So
yes,
yeah.
What about this? How do you find this? You see, you're young, so this might be just sort of normal for you, but this modern style of playing out from the back. Us older fans see the goalkeeper with the ball at their feet inside their own 6-yard box, and we have our heart in our mouth, worried that what's going to happen. But how do you? I mean, and we've had some experience of that this year. Kasper's pass to Hemmel versus Mariehamn was one of those just get rid of it moments. But how do you feel? Are you calm with the ball coming out of the back? Is it just normal?
All my years back in the Faroes, we've been a top team, so we have played out from the back every single time, almost. So I'm comfortable and used to it. So I like it a lot.
Yeah, this is the Pep Guardiola influence as well. Like, this is how he's changed modern football, and he's been doing that while you've been a kid, really. So that's just how football has gone. I believe it will change again. soon some team will realise that kicking the ball long and getting behind the defenders is the way to score goals, and we'll be back to the 1980s again.
Yeah,
It always changes. Yeah.
We'll come.
Can we move on to the?
Yeah, I think we'll come back and talk some more about Faroese football and our opponents in Europe, but we've got a few things to go through first. Mostly recent results, but before that, there's been a few new signings or re-signings recently.
Some guy called Pyry Hannola. Do we know anything about him?
I recognise that name. You mean friend of the show, Pyry?
Friend of sorry, yes, yeah, friend of the
show. So he was on loan for the first part of the season in Poland. That loan did not develop into a. Well, I think actually there was an obligation to buy, but they're not going to take him. I think we still get some money coming, so that's good. And there was a decent loan signing paid. And then Murilo arrived in a helicopter the other day. That was quite something.
It was well done.
Yeah, it was. It was well
third
done,
time with us now.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So we kind of know what we're going to get there. We're going to get power down the left side, competition for Babakar Fatih, and also cover between the two of them. I'm not saying one's covering for the other, but they're both good players down that wing. So it definitely
is Babakar Fatih is Babakar Fatih unbreakable? He always seems to get kicked, but he always gets up again.
Yeah, he always looks like he is about to get injured or something.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Somehow he gets up again and he plays on. He's great.
Yeah, and then the best ability is availability, and he's never injured. It's fantastic.
Where did you hear that, Jules? That's a very good little saying.
Well,
it can't have come
somewhere.
from you.
It doesn't come from me. It'll be some podcast somewhere. Yeah.
And the other player that we know a little bit less about is Armaan Wilson, who's transferred from KTP. Young central midfielder, brings a bit of height perhaps to that midfield role, and it was a kind of cash plus player deal that saw Nathaniel Tambi move in the other direction.
Your contacting KTP was very upset that he was leaving, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, he that's true. Yeah, I think KTP have lost a couple of players, but have also signed a few in this summer transfer window. But yeah, you're right. He was sad to see him go.
Samuel, can you add any more information? First impressions from training. What kind of player is he?
I remember we played KTP in the first game of the season, and he was one of the guys that I thought was their best player maybe in that game. So I knew who he was only from that game, obviously, but so far he's been good, and we need some cover in the midfield because the players they are playing so much and they need a rest once in a while.
True.
We've had a really heavy schedule, really, haven't we? There's the league. I know that they're trying to sort of spread out the league games now because we're going to go on this really long run in Europe, but it means that the games get sort of compressed, sort of in spring and then probably into autumn as well. So it is tough, and I think when we had a few injuries, especially like three of you guys injured at the back, you really saw the limits of the squad. We really tested the limits of the squad, and pulling players from the academy team probably didn't help Ash and the academy players for a month as well. It's quite tough for the whole club to handle.
How's it been for you as a centre back? It's very important the partnerships you build. So I mean, Calvin Pires was out first game of the season or something like that, and you've had various partners. And how's it been for you?
It's been good. The first 4 games, me and Kelvin had a had a very good partnership where we won every single game. And since then, Oki has come in. I played many games with him now, and I really like him as well.
Yeah,
he's a very good young player. So he'll do great things. And the last game, I played my first game with Ayo, and it was very good as well. I think we defended well. So
yeah,
I've had 3 different partners so far, and they've all been good. So it's good.
Oh, yeah. Good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah.
So, Jules,
should we look at the recent results?
Yeah, I think we should. I was just about to say, as you wrote in these notes here, it's been a long time since our last pod. It's only been 3 weeks, I think, but there's been a lot going on in that time.
Yeah, and we've beaten Ilves home and away in that time. But unfortunately, the referee, we didn't beat him, and he equalised from the penalty spot in the home game.
We'll come to that in a little bit more detail.
That's my opinion about this, at least. We stuffed Mariehamn, and we've lost in the cup to AC Oulu. So we'll go through these games in chronological order, shall we?
Yeah. So the first game was this Wednesday, the 18th of June. I think this was around about when we recorded, about 3 weeks ago. We recorded just before that.
It was the day before.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
So there was the 5 p.m. kickoff that had Angry Jules making an appearance.
Yep.
But we had a good away support down there for that day, bearing that in mind.
Yep. And then Weista opened the scoring, and his first goal in the Veikkausliiga. Well done to him. Congratulations. And first half injury time, Arcela's perfect cross from a free kick on the right, and it went between the defence and the goalkeeper. And was it Gask was kind of coming in on the goalkeeper? The goalkeeper bottled it, you could say. And didn't get the ball, and Oskar Weista finished with a plum. Yeah, it hit his knee and went in the goal.
That's all right. Goals off the knee, they all count.
Yeah, you have to be running in, and you have to be in the right position. And it's a good goal. Good goal.
But this is a game where we always make quite a lot of chances. But we had other chances before Tampere equalised. They scored with a header from a corner, and then you said something about music, Jules.
Oh yeah, I hate it in the Tamala Stadium. Is that bub 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 bada bada bub or something like that? It sounds it's that when they score a goal, it just really. It must sound brilliant if you're an Ilves fan, but I hate it.
Or maybe it sounds brilliant if you've just scored a goal. Anything sounds brilliant.
Exactly. But so that's cue that annoying music, but at least it's better than Hackers music when they score a goal, if they score a goal.
What's their music?
That's even. It's some kind of hacker some kind of hacker of, I can't remember, something that mentions hacker in it. But it's from the 1980s or something like that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And we got a penalty for handball in the 69th minute, and that got tucked away nicely by Rassi Karjalainen.
Yeah, and in the 90th minute, there was a pass from Rassi who found Tisalimi in space, took the ball into the box, turned his defender a couple of times. He didn't know what he was doing, and then producing a lovely low cross for Elias Mustakangas for another great finish. He put his foot out and to score from 2 yards, and that's it. Game over. 3-1.
Yeah, except there's always, after 90 minutes, there's always a chance for the opposition to score against us. This is something that we could change in the second half of the season, I think.
Yeah. I said to my missus who were watching the sofa, 3-1, game over, and then they scored, and it's a nervous 5 minutes of sitting chewing.
Yeah, exactly. It was a lovely goal, wasn't it? It was from the edge of the box. No way for Roope Paunio to stop that, but it did make things a little bit nervous. Oh, sorry, it wasn't. It was him or Rihimäki, wasn't it? Yeah. All these Finnish goalkeepers dressed in orange look the same to me.
Great result. But
go on.
Yeah, great result. I was just going to ask Samuel for his comments.
Yeah, it was a hard-fought win. which I love. I love the tight games where maybe you don't really have the ball that much. You have a lot defending to do, and come out with a win. It's the best feeling.
Yeah.
We defended very very well. We didn't play that good with the ball, but when you don't play well with the ball, you have to defend, and that's what we did very well. So very happy with the win.
Yeah, Ilves are a good team. They're a very structured team, well drilled, which is and the way that style plays out on the pitch is very different from our style of play. I know you guys know exactly what you're doing, but you have a much freer way of playing football. That's how Stevie likes his football to be played. How do you find that, like, fitting into that team and that way of playing football?
Yeah, it's different from what I'm used to. I'm used to more like the players know you have to run there and stay there. But I like it, I must say, and it suits me very well, being so aggressive and attacking football, high line, Jules. Yeah, it's very nice.
It takes some getting used to sometimes seeing Salim, the right back, up on the left wing, and Babacar, the left back, in right defence. But they know what they're doing. They know what Stevie wants them to do. So it's exciting to watch as well. That's for sure.
Yeah.
What wasn't so exciting to watch, Jules, was the Salmon Cup game a week later up in Oulu. There we seem to have a bit of a I don't know, a mental block about playing away in Oulu this year. But we can't.
Oh, we've got a voodoo against Oulu, full stop. Really, they've always caused us trouble, haven't they?
Yeah.
There's a time when the European competition at the end, when it's to qualify for that, then we went out in the first round to them 1 year or 2 years in a row.
Right. Okay.
It
Yeah.
seemed like it. So, yeah, it's a strange game because they scored quite early, and then they scored quite late on. But I thought we never really got going. So we'll ask our expert, what went wrong?
Many things went wrong. Yeah, they scored an early goal.
Yeah,
but we knew that if we could play our game, play fast, then we would eventually score a goal. And but we didn't really get going. Passes weren't sitting where they should be, and they were getting chances as well. Yeah, I think just many things accumulated. So,
is it just that one of those? It's a bad day. Things just didn't go well, and that's
just a bad day. Yeah.
Too many. If too many players have an off day, then it makes everyone look like they're having an off day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we put that right. Put that right on the Provincy Saturday with a 4-1 win against Mariehamn. And you're right, Jules. It was a lovely, enjoyable, stress-free game.
Yep. Perfect
which you
start.
needed because you were about to go off to Provincy for the third day, and
that's not very stressful, but it's a good mood to go there and party. So yeah. And it started nice. 6-minute pass from Salim, friend of the show, Yusuf.
Of course.
Yeah, he freed Jari String, who kind of beat the out-rushing keeper, and from quite a tight angle, put the ball away. So
yeah, it was a really good goal, a really nice pass, sort of breaking through the lines, and then Jari did well to put it away from there, because that was not an easy finish.
Yeah, and Salim was in action again for the 17th minute. Do you want to talk us through that one?
Yeah, Salim found Rasse, who was down the right, playing his chaos football. He cut the ball back for Kasper to score, just between the penalty spot and the edge of the box. Another really nicely taken finish from Kasper. He's keeping himself there at the top of the goal scoring charts. And it didn't take long to get the next goal either.
Yep, and again, Rasse was involved in this one as well, and it fed the ball in, lovely cross, and it was met with a bullet header from a Mariehamn defender. But then all defenders score those except of course Samuel. Samuel, when was that? Have you? When was the last? Oh no, should we even mention this? Should we go down on my tempting fate? When was the last own goal that you scored? Have you?
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I've ever scored an own goal.
That is the right answer.
Senior football.
Good.
I am now just so nervous for the next game. I am so nervous for the next game. So if it was to happen, it's all my fault. And
Yeah.
But you know, like for Mariehamn, they've travelled all that way. They're having a tough season. We blitzed them at the start, and when the third goal goes in on 18 minutes and it's an own goal, you know that you're in for a tough game.
And we've had chances in between before that as well. It was
absolutely.
like they were quite at halftime. It was 3-0, and they were looking quite good for the 3-0. It could have been 4-5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got the fourth goal in the 64th minute. Jules, talk us through this, because this was a beauty.
Season. Yeah, so mi amore. You should remember to think. Yeah, Elias Mastakangas buried it. Oh, what a goal this was! So it was a cross from Gask, and it kind of bounced. Or I don't know if it got a deflection.
No, I don't think it did bounce. I think he caught it on the volley.
No, it was a half volley, but I'm not sure if it hit somebody on the way through.
Oh,
it was
I
a
see.
half volley.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a half volley, and the ball was quite high up, so it wasn't just like he had to kind of reach up for it. But then, on the half volley, buried it with his right foot. Goalkeeper had no chance. A fantastic goal, and then great celebrations, and and it's good that we've got a song for him. So
he's got a song, and that went down. That went down really well, didn't it? Yep. But after the 90th minute, we managed to concede another goal.
Let's go over to Samuel. What's been going on with all these last minute conceding goals? And tell us, is it over now?
I don't know what it is, and it's very frustrating because that's the time when you close the game and you finish well, but something gets in our heads at the end of the games, and we switch off for a moment. But I hope it's over now. I'm so tired of it.
Yeah, so are we. Let's all be tired about it. But only one of us can do something about it, Samuel.
It's true.
Not saying that it's your fault.
No, absolutely not. But only one of us is on the pitch.
Yeah.
And then, last game in this run was obviously the most recent one last Saturday. We had a 1-1 draw at home to Ilves. We actually were chatting to some Ilves fans before, Jules, in the bar, and they would have liked to win, but they would have been happy with a draw.
Yeah.
And in balance of play, it's probably fair. First of all, Jules, tell the listener who we met in the bar at the ground.
Marco Matrone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ex-SJK player. I forgot that he also played for Ilves.
Yeah.
But I think he had more time than them. But it was really good to see him again. So that was nice. And he was there with some ex-Ilves players. One who was so old, he played against Juve.
So he was an older gentleman. Yeah, that was quite a story, wasn't it?
Yeah, that Ilves had sometime qualified for the Champions League, and I think that's when it was like the Champions League, that it was like European champions that only qualified. But he'd played against Juve for Ilves, which was very surprising for me. But nice
1984, he said.
Yeah.
But that was quite nice, and that's the sort of thing we talked about in a couple of episodes ago, about meeting people from the other club and sharing those stories, and then going out and shouting at them for 2 hours. That's how it should be.
Ilves brought a lot of fans, and not many of them were behind. They were all among the home supporters in a way.
That's true. I couldn't believe how many Ilves shirts I saw round our end of the ground. Like, when we go to an away game, you get shepherded into one particular place, and that's where you go.
I wonder if it's that SJK fans don't mind being with the Kloppet, rather than other fans tend to avoid their loud supporters.
Maybe. And I know you get away fans sitting at the far end of the main stand, and also sometimes they have some seats the far end of the other stand, the other side of the pitch. But I don't know, it just seemed noticeable how many there were. And I've seen other comments in WhatsApp groups about it, who are more annoyed and not quite so quizzical as me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, well, welcome to the ground anyway, as long as, we make more noise than them wherever they are. Doesn't matter.
Quite right. Anyway, we got into the game, and 14th minute, lovely corner from Marcus Arcelo. To the back post, Jere Streng heads it back across the goal, and who was there to score their third goal of the season?
I can't remember. Samuel, who was there to score that goal?
I think it's someone that I know very well.
It's a lovely header, powered home, sort of at the left hand side of the goal. Very good stuff, and a great start. 14 minutes.
Is it something you'd worked on training? That kind of routine?
Yeah, the day before we worked on corners.
Yep.
And I had a good talk with some of the coaches that how to attack the ball. And they gave me some good advice, and I tried to listen as well as I could, and I finished it well.
Yeah, you did. Goalkeeper had no chance.
Yeah. Following that, the rest of the game was pretty close, as we said with the previous game.
I'd just like to ask, Samuel, do you have a goal bonus in your contract?
Yeah, no.
I'm so annoyed that I don't have it because.
Next contract, it has to be there.
Absolutely, it needs to be there.
Sure.
And now you're a goal scoring centre back.
Yes.
Definitely needs to be.
You'd be great in a fantasy football team.
Exactly.
Okay, so as I was saying, Jules, the rest of the game was quite tight. It was funny in the post-match press conference. Stevie said, "I can't remember Ilves creating any chances apart from the penalty they got." And then when I looked at the stats after, they had 14 shots and six were on target. So it's interesting.
This is a Stevie thing, though. There's quite a few games when he's said that comment, and I thought, well, I can remember 3 or 4.
I'm sure he'll have some feedback for me about that comment. But I looked at the stats, and they did have some, and I watched the highlights, and they had some shots. That much is true. But it really swung in the 64th minute with the where the ref equalised from the penalty spot. Their forward was running through into our box, and Babacar Fati comes from his right side, puts his foot in front of the ball. I mean, clearly, I couldn't see it. Not where I was sitting. I was the other end, and I'm a bit blind. But when you watch it, clearly blocks the ball, and it's a real solid block tackle. And the player falls over the ball and falls down. And you watch the replay, he hasn't even had a chance to appeal, and the referee's already blown his whistle for it. And, well, no, as you said, Jules, nobody thought it was a penalty. The TV commentator, Stevie, certainly doesn't think it's a penalty. and I, at that moment, I got a string of text messages from my wife, Satu, and she said, "Not penalty. I saw it. Fati did nothing. So did the Rutu guys. Think the same." That was so unfair. We need VAR. I'm gonna
down a bit.
I'm gonna censor myself.
Yeah.
Useless tuomari.
Yeah.
Flipping blind. Yeah. So you can. There are some swear words in there, but I'll keep our child-friendly rating for this episode.
Samuel, what's your view on this?
Yeah, I think it's so clear, and the ref has a good view of the situation. Everyone can see that he gets across and he touches the ball, and the ball changes course the way that he kicks it. So it's so annoying to get calls against you like that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I said I can see why the ref gave it. I'm not saying at all it's totally the wrong decision, but if he's from behind, because when Fati gets the ball doesn't move much. So it's not like it's one of those sliding tackles and you can see the ball moving like 3 or 4 meters. It's more like that he blocks the ball, and then
exactly.
the Ilves guy goes over his leg. So I get why the referee made the wrong decision. If he just thought but it is the wrong decision. Totally wrong. Yep.
And that's how the game sort of stayed 1-1 through to the end. Both sides created some chances. Both goalkeepers kind of kept their teams in it. It was nice seeing Roope back in the goal. He was there for that game, Jules.
Okay. Going back, if we're talking about bad referee decisions, it was against you, Samuel, that penalty was given. I can't remember. Was it against VPS? That was a really bad decision as well.
So bad. Situations like that happen all the time in the box, and he played it well. He threw himself to the ground, and the ref, I don't know. It was so bad.
So let's get the players' perspective. What do you feel about VAR?
Ooh, that's a big question.
It is a big question. I mean, I'm not a big fan. Not because I think it gets some decisions right, but there are still others that people are arguing about afterwards. So we've gone from arguing about the referee's decision to arguing about the video referee's decision. But I think when we had it in our game a few weeks ago, the communication in the stadium was pretty good. When the game stopped, it was on the screens. We could see what was going on. But somehow, I still would rather not have it. But again, you've played in a few games now with VAR. So what do you think?
Yeah. Some games I like it, and some games I don't like it.
Depending if the VAR is on your side or not.
Exactly. No, I think all in all, I rather not play with it. I just think it takes something away from the game that we all love. So I'm a bit against it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm going to go for the climate issue as well. For if it's Finland in the winter, if it's on the Faroe Islands and it's 5 degrees and pouring down with rain and windy, if you're waiting around for 5 minutes for a decision, is there more likely of picking up an injury?
I haven't thought about that, but yeah, you can say that. Sometimes it's very bad weather, so yeah.
I tell you where there's a good chance of picking up an injury, Jules. That's when Chelsea had to wait 4 hours for the thunderstorm to pass the other week, and then came out and let in an equaliser.
Yeah. I mean that's
a different situation.
Yeah, and we've got the World Cup in America to look forward to, so that could be a common thing next summer.
Right, let's have a look forward to what's coming up, Jules, because as you said earlier,
can you do the pronunciation then, Samuel, of that? How should we be saying our Faroese opponents?
Yeah, normally we say KÍ, but the town is called Klaksvík.
Okay,
Klaksvík.
Klaksvík.
No, but the so Klaksvík. But you said normally we say that the KI bit is
it's
KÍ.
KÍ.
Okay.
KÍ Klaksvík.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to clip that and just have it as my text message alert for the next couple of days, so that I can remember how to say it. So we're playing them at home in 2 days' time, Thursday the 10th. Tickets still available, and then away a week later on the 17th. Jules, I was saying about how my summer holiday might fit in with these European games, and it fits perfectly. So when we beat Klaksvík in these 2 games, I can see the home game. Then next week I'm away.
Yep.
The week after, we have our first game against the Serbian team away, and then the return leg is at home, and that's the day that I get back from my holiday.
Right. So there will be no pod until
there'll be no pod until
while.
August, people. So listen to the back catalogue.
But first, we have to be KÍ Klaksvík. How does the Faroese League compare to Finland?
Yeah. And in the Faroes, there is a clear top 5 and bottom 5. The difference is very big. And the bottom teams in the league, they're very bad. I don't know which league they will be in here in Finland, but
Are they the
top,
amateurs?
sorry,
Are they amateurs or are they professionals?
they are not professionals.
Right. Okay.
Every team has players that work 8 to 4, and then they
Okay.
train afterwards.
Right.
But the top teams like Klaksvík, maybe one other team, they could play in Veikkausliiga. I think Klaksvík maybe top 6 is in a good year maybe, and the other teams would maybe be in the bottom. I would say.
Right.
Did you hear Stevie's anecdote that he used to manage Klaksvík on Football Manager?
He has told me many times.
Has he now? Did he manage you, or were you too young at the time? Oh, you
I
didn't
was
play
too
for them.
young.
You played for the different team.
Yeah.
Should have signed you.
So,
Should have told me, yeah.
so what can we expect from Klaksvík? What sort of style do they play? How are we going to try to beat them?
In the league, they are normally very dominant. They keep the ball a lot and attack all the time. But in Europe, it's like they change completely. They fall back, park the bus, and counter. And they spend a lot of time practicing set pieces, long throw-ins, everything like all the simple stuff actually.
Right.
And they have the players. They have the perfect players for it. So I think that's what we're gonna expect on Thursday.
And what about in the away game? Would they do the same when they're playing in their own ground if it's a European game?
Yeah, normally they do that, but it's actually pretty cool that they have never lost a European game at home.
Okay.
They've played against big teams in Europe.
Until this year.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, one of the thing I remember reading many years ago about Faroese football, and please correct me if this is an urban legend, and maybe it's at a much lower level than you guys, but the wind is so strong there that one of the tactics was to kind of kick the ball almost out of play and let the wind, do the work and direct where it's going. Is that true, or is that just a urban legend or a rural legend?
I think it's more of an urban legend,
right?
But there are many games that the wind is very strong and it's hard to anticipate where the ball is going. So it's pretty hard to play some matches there. That's true.
The Europa might score. Goal kick.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who should we look out for? Can you give us 2 or 3 key players in their team that we should keep an eye out for, and why?
Yeah, I'll start with their right winger. He's called Otne, number 7. He has such a good left foot. He is the one that crosses all the balls and also the throw-ins actually. He's one to look out for, and if we wanna how do you say, not kill them, but not let them get any chances, he's the main guy to stop.
Right.
And then they have a striker. He is 35, I think. He's not fast or anything, but very good movement in the box, very good header. He also has to be stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Last one, yeah, who's there? Maybe a midfielder, number 10. He's called Hatlur. He's also very good. They all play on the national team.
you know these guys well?
That says something, doesn't it? If they're national team players.
Yeah. Do you know them?
Yeah.
Do you know them well? I mean, you've played 5 internationals. Are they very familiar players to you?
Yeah, I've played with all of the guys that play in the national team.
Right.
There are actually 9 in the squad that are in the
Right.
national team.
Okay. This is almost an international fixture, not just a European game.
Yeah.
Have they been in touch with you to have a little bit of fun before the game?
Yeah, one of my best friends, he actually plays there, so we talk a lot.
Right, I noticed you didn't name your best friend as one of the 2 or 3 players to look out for, so he might not be your best friend anymore.
That's the way of trolling, of getting getting into his head to start off with those. So.
Exactly.
If we had the time or the skills, Jules, we could put a little short video. Samuel Chukwudi names his best 3 players in Klaksvík, and his best friend's not there.
Yeah.
We'll let you off. No one listens to this nonsense anyway, so it's okay.
Thanks.
All right. So, how do you feel generally? Are you feeling confident about this, or? I mean, yeah, of course, we're going to come up with a plan to try and beat them. But you think we can do this?
I'm feeling very confident. Yeah, I think we have such a good team, so good players, and they're not in the Faroes. They don't play against players that we have with the qualities that we have. So I think that we can, if we play our way, we play fast combinations in the midfield. They can't follow us if it's our day. They can't follow us. No chance.
When did they play football in the Faroe Islands? Is it end of season now, or is it midway through the season?
It's just like here.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if they're, it's like pre-season for them, if that gives us an advantage or at all. But yeah, okay.
Now, what gives us an advantage is our players, Jules. And
yeah,
our
we're
coach,
better than them.
and our style of play.
Yes.
Oh, can we expect any of their fans to turn up at Oma SB at the stadium here? Will they bring away support?
I think there are around 10, something like that.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Something like that.
Good. It's nice. It's good to see fans travelling. I think we have some travelling to Faroe Islands. I don't know if it's maybe similar sort of number.
No, it's. I'm I'm disappointed. This again. That originally the ticket price was offered. The flight ticket was offered at 1,000, and I think there was about 10 people interested. And then the price went up to 1,500, and 4 people are interested.
Okay.
Which just gets the cost price should not be how you decide the selling price. Do the maths, SJK. 10 times 1,000, take away 4 times 1,500. Where are you making most money? So, yeah, it's one of these things. It's another thing like, pubs haven't got many customers. We need to put our prices up because we haven't got many customers, and therefore, it's.
I wonder if any fans are planning to travel on regular scheduled flights. Though.
It's almost impossible to do.
Is it difficult to get there?
Yeah. It's almost impossible to do. So the best way to do it is to go on the charter flight with the team, which is a great idea, absolutely great idea, and it's a great way for the club to kind of claw back some of the money it has to pay for chartering the plane. Great idea, but then again, the execution could be better.
Prices people out of it.
Prices, yeah. If, as I said, if you got seats on the plane, it's not costing you any extra money. If they were 1,000 euros, I'd be going. But then 1,500 plus nights in a hotel, it just came out of my budget. The total price, I was looking to do it for about 1,500, and it's going to be about 2,002. So
it's a lot of money for a two-night trip as well.
Yeah, but a memorable experience to see KÍ Klaksvík lose at home for the first time in a European competition. So
you say memorable, but some of those fans travelling will have a few beers and probably won't be able to remember anything.
Well, there again, the beer prices might not be having so many.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. So after this game on Thursday, and then the away game the following Thursday, we have a few Sunday games. And I suppose that's just to keep the potential Thursdays free for the other European games. So Sunday, 20th of July, at home to Gnistan, kickoff at 4 p.m. 1600.
And then a away trip on 27th to Inter in Turku and kick off at 5 o'clock. Thinking of going?
You are?
I'm thinking of, I think
okay. And then Sunday, the 3rd of August, home to Kotka, kick off at 4 o'clock. And again, our friend Sammy from Kotka is coming to visit Jules, so maybe we'll have
to visit me?
Well, coming to visit us. Jules, and maybe we'll have a pre-match beer with a few away fans as well.
Yeah, that did work better when it's written down because there is a comment after visit.
Yeah,
coming to visit Jules, but your delivery was like it's coming to visit Jules.
and let's see if we can get a pod out before the Kotka game, but it might be after. In which case, we'll have lots of games to talk about again.
Right. So, should we ask Samuel have we anything we should ask you before we finish? Have we got everything we can get from you?
He's not volunteering anything.
No.
So let's then wrap it up there, Jules. Thanks to Samuel for joining us. That was terrific. Thank you very much. Listener, remember to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening, and you can find the whole archive of our episodes on YouTube.
You can contact the Seinäjoki Supporters Podcast by email at seinäjokifootballpod@gmail.com. You can find links to all our content on Linktree at Seinäjoki Football Pod. And
actually, this may be useful for you, Samuel. We also have a WhatsApp group to continue the conversation between podcasts, open to any fan of ASICO. And we're talking in there in English. So we're sharing information in English. And we've had family members of some of the players joining that group so that they can follow what's going on at the club. So if you've got anyone who might be interested to follow what's happening, it's not too gossipy. It's mostly just sharing the odd news story and information about the matches and things like that. So if they or any other listener wants to join, then go to Linktree. There's a link there to request to join. And I do vet every application. I think a lot of people ask to join just so they can come in and spam with ads. So I'm very careful. There've been lots of young women from America trying to join lately, and they're not getting in if they don't answer my questions.
Okay, with that, until the next episode, we'll see you at the stadium on Thursday or see you online. Goodbye.
Heippa.